Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Basement Quality Banter, episode 43 this evening. Angus, do you have a beverage?
I do. Ooh. Um, in celebration of going to Straddie this weekend with my Veterans Rugby Club, I'm drinking a Straddie Dark Lager.
Oh, nice, the Manta. Yep.
A little bit foamy.
Hmm, nice. Well, I dug into the fridge and found the last can of my On the Terps, the Bent Spoke Mountain Culture Terpene Black IPA. It's a bit old. However, the terpenes have lasted more than I thought they would. And the reason for me cracking this 6% 375 ml can is the return collaboration has been announced with Mountain Culture and Bent Spoke, um, both loving their IPAs and cycling. They've joined again for Full Suspension, a 6.5% West Coast IPA, and it's brewed with Centennial, Mosaic, and Simcoe, alongside Yakima Chief's newest product, Citra 803. Now, I had to look into this, and it basically they've classified it as a flowable hop product. So I'm guessing it's a liquid hop extract by the sound of it. Um, uh, True to type, high intensity hoppy aroma and flavor, best used in active fermentation to maximize biotransformation aromatic impact, delivers the classic citric characteristics of grapefruit, mango, and tropical fruit. So, sounds very interesting. And unfortunately, because it is brewed and canned at Mountain Culture, it will be in the 355 ml cans. And
Boo!
I just see 355 and 330s and 345 cans. I honestly still just see that as a big FU to the consumer. It's not that much of a millage, and yeah, but probably going to be better than the mountain culture that you experienced this week for sure.
Yeah, I think yeah, I've similar feelings about the small cans. They just feel so tiny in your hand. Those little tiny cans. Um, quite like hikers still doing the 400 ml cans. That's a that's a big chunky handful of beer. I like it.
Yeah, and you can sort of, I don't know, the spending the money on a big decent can sort of makes, I don't know, it feels like it makes maths even if it doesn't make maths. But how's the Stratty beer?
It's nice. It's almost a bit Schwartzy.
Ooh,
It's almost a bit Schwartzy.
I think they're on Minjibara. They're South Stratty, aren't they?
Yeah, we don't see them
Yeah,
on the trip.
you'll be up north.
Yep.
Next up, I had Brewdog is looking for a buyer, while James Watt is looking to secure the purchase back. 200,000 equity punks look to lose any investment they've made in the business. A £35 million loss last year, and apparently only 1 year of ever reporting an operational profit, mainly due to expansion. They've been growing all the years. The distilling arm seems to be the biggest failure recently. I don't know what it means for the Australian arm, which seems to be kicking along okay after the initial controversy regarding the Queensland government giving them $20 million worth of rebates and assistance, and the reduced production promise at the Murray site. However, the partnership with AVC, the Australian Venue Co. That operates the venues like Pentridge Prison, they seem to be going really well. So, dogged, pun intended, by scandal, rip-offs, poor culture, serious misconduct. I can't see anyone buying it. Um,
That's all just one guy that did that too.
pretty much. Like when I went to a BrewDog in London, and they were advertising the fact that all the staff there got to share in the profits. and everyone was really excited about that because they'd been fighting for a fair living wage, and it turns out that if each individual venue didn't reach a certain target, then no one got anything. It was really dodgy how they sold it and what it ended up being. However, if my piggy bank was a bit fatter, I would definitely buy the Berlin Mit site in a second. It was the former Stone Brewing facility that I visited. It's probably the most amazing brewery venue I've ever been to. Probably not financially smart. It's an hour out of the middle of Berlin where there's plenty of cheap beer, but the venue, the kit, the tree in the middle of the building, the old haunting monastery of a building it was. Yeah, I'd definitely buy that if I was richer. I'd have to move there and probably drink all the profits. But if you know my Facebook page, it was me out the front of Stone Brewing with 75 beer taps, and yeah, just the most amazing venue. I took my son. We did a brewery tour there. They had a stand like a 100 hectare brew kit. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. And then Brewdog bought it and put a bright blue shipping container in the middle of the restaurant for them. So yeah, I don't know if anyone would actually buy Brewdog at this rate. They might buy the assets and the bars. There's 72 venues apparently.
It's such a negative association with the brand.
Yeah,
Um, like you wouldn't even buy it cheap. Like, it just there'll be so much work you'd have to do to even be seen as a positive brewery
yeah,
before you even started making money. And I don't know, got employees, got people to do business with you on partnerships. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, they closed down their first site in Edinburgh. They've got the hotel there. Apparently, the Japanese and Vegas sites are really cool. Yeah, the Pentridge prison site's really cool here in Australia. I can't see anyone buying it. I really can't.
No. It's hard enough to make money with a brewery, let alone one which has just absolutely um, a negative reputation.
Yeah, bad history. Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Carbon 6 cracked the code. All the pieces have been found. The brewery's named. I thought it was a really cool promotion put together. I think we're going to see more about how you could have deciphered the codes in the next week. But the breweries that were hiding the pieces were Noosa Hinterland Brewery, Young Giants Brewing, Buddy Brewing, Happy Valley Brewing, Hudson Brewing, and Padre Brewing. So some of the photos have been put up on their webpage of where they actually hid the puzzle pieces within a kilometre of each brewery, and some of the clues to how you could find them. So I think that was a bit of fun and a really cool promo. So good luck to Carbon Six and everyone who was involved with that one.
Yeah, that seemed to go by pretty quick. I didn't even spend last weekend looking at the clues or anything. I had no time, and then it's all wrapped up. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Well, they were decent
yeah, again,
prices there, so I think a lot of people got onto it. So it was really cool.
yeah.
I also had Bathurst's Reckless Brewing is crowdfunding with Birchall. And further to our conversation last week about two bays, it seems successful so far. I'm personally surprised that people are still using this as either an investment method, hoping it's an emotional purchase. I think this. I hope it works out better than others. And then just today, Stomping Ground have announced they're doing a crowdfunding with not Birchall, the other company that's quite popular. Is it? Um, you might be able to help me with that one. Was it
Um, no, I can't.
on market?
Um,
On market, I think it's called. Yeah,
yeah,
the other big. So, um, I we were surprised that two bays rose so much in such a short period of time. However, it's a niche product and a specific target product. I don't know how Reckless and Stomping Ground will go, and I still don't think the market is ready for more. Um, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I don't think the market's ready for more of these crowdfunding for breweries.
Yeah, like I mentioned last week, I think Two Bays is has such a niche set of customers. It's in their interest to keep that brewery going, so they get access to gluten-free beers. So there's an emotional attachment to the brewery, but also um, a, a health attachment, and access to beer attachment, which I'm not sure that Bathurst and Thumberground have that same kind of that real niche attachment to the brewery. So,
Mm,
look, I think by now people have been well exposed to what crowdfunding means and what people are getting out of it. Um, I, I I really can't think that people are going in with their eyes closed about this stuff. So, yeah. Some people love the idea of saying they're part of a brewery or getting access to the um, investor parties and access to beers and things. So I can't think that people are going in with their eyes closed anymore about this stuff.
yeah. And you've been doing digging in, dipping your toes into the US craft market.
Yeah, I've been seeing a few articles kicking through about some larger breweries struggling and just the industry as a whole. So thought I might do some bit more research over the week and have a bit more of a bit more knowledge about it. Some facts that I came across: domestic shipping is down 5.9%, or 8.7 million barrels of beer for the year, and that's based on the American version of the excise program, so the domestic tax.
Yeah,
So yeah, that'll be interesting to look at and see if the same kind of strength of those patterns emerge in Australia. Um, how much
it's
of that is
really bad, isn't it? Yeah,
down to the tariff penalties? Who knows?
yeah, that can't be helping. And around the world with Angus, where are we heading to this week?
This week we are landing in Mexico.
Oh, Mexico.
So
Oh,
Mexico
caramba.
is one of the world's largest beer producing countries. And interestingly, I found out they don't have a native hop growing industry. So up until fairly recently, the brewers are having to import everything: malt, yeast, hops. It seems to be fairly solid malt industry now. I didn't find anything about yeast, so I don't know if they're still importing yeast from the big boys or doing their own stuff. Yeah, interestingly, there's seems like kind of a bit of a homebrew industry with growing hops, where a few people here and there have been trying to grow hops. Probably the one that's been around the longest is Lupulus Igor, which has been around since 2020, and they seem to be the most established hop producers in Mexico. So they got 400 plants producing about 40 to 50 kilos of hops per year, and they got some strong partnerships with craft breweries, including Monstruo de Agua and Pecados de la Mota, who are strongly pushing the goal of 100% Mexican beers. So once they get a good level of hops, they might be able to do that.
Not
So
really, it's not really the climate for hop growing, I guess, is it?
no, not at all. No.
It's like
Um,
Thailand, they import all their ingredients, and yeah,
yeah, yeah. I think that would have to be a bit of a struggle to grow hops in Mexico.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I did some more reading. So surely there is a lot more to Mexican beer than Corona Sol and Dos Equis. So Corona makes up 25% of the Mexican beer market, and then Modelo with 20 to 30%, and I guess somewhat similar to Australia, craft beer makes up around 3%.
yeah.
So after a bit of research, it turns out there is more to Mexico than just those three big boys.
Hmm.
Interestingly, craft beer kicked off in Mexico in the 1990s, so pretty much around the same time as the US. They've now got around 1,400 craft breweries and range from hop forward US beers to classic German style beers. That seems to be a common theme throughout Mexico. A lot of German breweries or German breweries and breweries doing German style. So that's interesting. And yes, of course, they also do produce a lot of adjunct rich lagers. Now I'm gonna butcher some brewery names here. Cerveceria Minerva started in 1998 and is the granddaddy of Mexican craft beer. Their Minerva Pale Ale is very popular and very accessible throughout Mexico. The Baja California region boasts a lot of cutting edge craft breweries, and the annual Ensenada Baja Beer Fest draws massive crowds. So you can think of agave-based wheat beers for your tequila experience, and chili-infused IPAs to really spice up your lunch choices. And I had to look it up, but Baja California is a Mexican state and has nothing to do with the state of California in the US.
I did not know that.
Nah,
But that sounds
me
really
neither.
cool. See, we're learning things. This Angus around the
Uh,
world is it's just knowledge for beer.
Trying to be educational. So moving on to the big bad gorilla in the room. So Heineken have announced a $2.75 billion investment, starting up a new brewery in the Yucatan region, which has not been welcomed by the locals. Despite it generating 2,500 jobs in the region, there are strong concerns the government's simply continuing a pattern of big business first and leaving the residents to basically fend for themselves when it comes to water access. And also, there's contamination concerns and aquifer quality. Some stats to throw around. So Heineken say they're targeting production of 400 million liters of beer from the new brewery, and they're estimating a use of 2 liters of water for every 1 liter of beer. So they'll be using 800 million liters of water in producing that beer. Non-Heineken estimates say that the level is actually closer to 2.6 liters of water for each liter of beer, which puts their water use at over 1 billion liters of water, which is a pretty mind-boggling amount of water, really.
Yeah, I know the one on the Gold Coast, the Yatla Brewery. It's like 1.5 liters per liter of beer. It's like world class. They've got their own water treatment plan, and it's one of the even though it's one of the big nasty people. Apparently, the water implementation that even the powers people put in back in the 80s is what really produced that forward. And 2 liters for every 1 liter of beer. While it sounds ridiculous, that's pretty good standards. I think Stone and Wood, when they were doing Pacifico, it was 7 liters of water per liter of beer. Um,
Jeez.
so for I know Heineken are massive, but to say 2 liters of water for one liter, it's not bad, and two point
Mm.
six is probably closer to it. Uh, but if the region can't sustain that usage of water, that's why all breweries are near water sources, of course. It is a mind-boggling amount of water, and obviously Heineken are making a big move into the market. So maybe they're the ones who are going to make that. What was it, Mexican style dark lager that I still haven't found yet?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to find some examples of how much water 1 billion liters was, and
Mm.
it didn't really support my argument for it being a mind-boggling amount. So Niagara Falls,
Yep.
1 billion liters of water flows through it in 12 minutes. And apparently the Brisbane, I'm forgetting the Brisbane River value. It was a few hours in the Brisbane River was 1 billion liters of water.
Wow.
So I
That's
wasn't going to
still
include those facts because it didn't really support my mind-boggling amount of water argument.
no. I still think it's mind-boggling. Yeah. Wow. Oh well. It's bad that yeah, the jobs are good, but it doesn't say much about the environment if the government's just worried about jobs and not and making money and yeah. But
Yeah,
we've seen that in every country and maybe less civilized places get hit. Yeah. So what we got next? Oh, it's guess the brewery in 10 questions. Alrighty, so now it's my turn to make an ass of myself on a public podcast. I have 10 questions to guess the brewery that Angus is thinking of. Okay. What country are they from?
uh, Belgium.
Uh,
Which doesn't really narrow it down because there's 17 million.
okay. Is their logo a pink elephant?
No,
Ah! Okay.
that's two questions.
Uh, Duvel.
No.
Oh, shit. Okay. Um, what would I know them for?
They are known for being the gold standard for a style of beer.
Is it an Abbey beer?
No, that's
Um,
four questions.
what would I know the name of one of their beers?
Absolutely. Yeah, you probably sell it.
Interesting. Um, do their labels come in different colors?
Ooh, that is a question I can't answer because their beer page is not working.
Uh, Interesting. Uh,
I
how
think
many
it is.
questions?
So they're known for two beers. They
Mm,
obviously make a bunch more beers, but they're really known for two beers.
mm.
One is an absolute gold standard where everything else is judged against it, and the other one is a more of a specialty beer.
You mate?
No.
Okay. Hmm.
I think we're up to six questions now. I'll give you an easy clue. The style of beer that they're absolute gold standard of is an absolutely useless style of beer when judging.
A useless style of beer when judging.
Very unhelpful.
So a goose. Uh,
It's not a goose. Think more popular than goose. The
more
style
pop.
of beer is more popular than goose. Goose is a bit beer nerd. Yeah, it's like really beer nerdy goose, whereas this style of beer isn't really.
Mm.
We talk about the style of beer should be more popular in Australia because it really suits Australian drinking climate.
Well, I'd love a Belgian blonde, but I think gozes should be more popular here. Um,
It's a Belgian style that's been around for quite a while, and it's not uncommon for Australian breweries to brew that style of beer. It's not trappers. It's not quad, triple, double. None of that.
Farmhouse, funky.
Uh, that's not what the style is famous for, but it can be. But that's not the normal style of beer. The normal style is um, quite drinkable. Has to do with um, but that'll give it away. Yeah, it has to do with workers.
Workers.
Style
Oh
of beer was originally produced for farm workers.
no, no.
And it was brewed for it was brewed for the seasons that the farmhouse workers would finish up.
Yeah,
So it was a seasonal beer.
yeah. Um, I can think of it.
See,
Definitely like a saison sort of
it's a
style.
saison. The
Uh,
the beer they're world famous for it definitely is a saison.
and then oh, we've got Dupont, and we've got Fontaine, we've got oh, Cantillon. Uh,
I think we're past 10. So you just said the brewery name just before.
uh, Fontaine,
Just no, you said it just before that.
Dupont.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brasserie Dupont. So
Wow.
obviously Saison Dupont is their beer that every other saison is judged against.
I
And
That was hard, and I loved it. That is so cool.
I
Sorry
thought
for
I thought that
everyone.
would be I thought that would be fairly gettable. The other beer that they're famous for is Avec le Bon Vin,
Yeah,
which is that was a specialty beer, the Christmas ale that I was talking about.
yeah, yeah. No, it stays on Dupont, of course. Um, that it's harder than you think, isn't it?
Yeah, yep.
But I love it because it really gets the mind ticking. And I'm sure I've embarrassed myself, and it'd be really cool for people listening in who have probably picked that on the second guess. Um,
Maybe, yeah.
yeah, no, I really like that. That's really cool. Um, I think we should keep doing that because it's hard, but it's fun.
Yeah, let's get done. I enjoy it. Yep.
Yeah, because it is. Yeah, it really gets the clogs ticking.
It's
Uh,
like when you're watching game shows and because you're not under pressure, your brain works normally, and you're like,
mm,
it's Season Dupont. How can you not get that? But when you're in the firing line and
you've
the
got
pressure's on
nothing.
you, your brain just doesn't work properly.
No,
Yeah.
no, everything was going through my mind then. I was thinking, oh, what would I know him for? But no, brilliant, love it. Really cool brewery, really cool beer. I think apart from we won't be on next week because we'll be stewarding and judging at the Royal Queensland Beer Awards. Uh,
Yay!
706 entries this year, which is decent. Um, it's where Angus and I first met, and while we won't do the podcast next week, we're hopefully going to sign up a lot of people that we know there, so they can come on and have a guest appearance on our potty. But it really is my favourite time of year, catching up with all the people in beer, getting to try some beers. Everyone there is there for the right reasons to produce, judge, present everything that the beer community is all about, and it's something that I look forward to every year.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's easily my favorite beer event of the year.
Yeah,
Mm.
and
Second of which is my Veterans Rugby weekend, which is this weekend as well. We're going on a fishing trip to Stratty this weekend.
so yeah, all family's going to miss you for a week or so.
Oh, I'm back Sunday afternoon, so I'll see them for like 4 hours Sunday afternoon. Then I'll be gone till Friday.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The awards
And
are on Thursday night with the
mm,
Distillers Awards for the first time. They're putting them together and having a night one, so that'll be That'll be interesting. So, look, we'll probably share to our socials during the week of not behind the scenes, but sort of stuff that we get up to. So make sure you jump onto the facebook.com group slash groups slash basement quality banter. You can see and hear more of our nonsense, vote on polls, suggest topics for discussion, tell us where we're wrong, and there's just beer and sport related shit posting, which brings me on to my cricket predictions for the T20 World Cup were only slightly off when I said we'd breeze through the group stage and some very average performances and decent opposition attacks. We failed. I still don't understand why Cameron Green is in any current Australian team, but that's it. We're out. We're gone. I did see a news report today saying that we can make it to the Super 8, but there's not too many tickets left. So that's the only way we'll see it is by watching it.
It's such a well-worn troll, but it's still funny.
It is. It is. Um, Formula One, big announcement for Formula One. Um, the major change from FAI regarding the engines before we start the season. So the big issue was the new engines have a 16-to-1 ratio, power ratio when it was in the new generation. That the FIA said they were going to measure at an ambient temperature. Ford and Mercedes have made a way so when they're at running temperature, that compression ratio runs to 18-to-1. Now, that gives them a lot more power. And the other teams have had a whinge, and it looks like they're going to have to somehow change the internals of the engines before the race season starts or get penalties. But they didn't technically break the rules like McLaren did with the carbon fiber webbing last year. So I think the FIA has made a mistake because you'd never why would you measure an engine when it's cold anyway for a ratio when it's running? So there could be changes, with a couple of weeks to go till Melbourne, and it looks like a bit of a cluster, to be honest.
Yeah, this is what shits me about V8 supercars, where you know a particular team comes up with a great idea and has a performance advantage, and then that team's penalized to bring them back into parity. Just let them run. If they come up with the idea and it's within the rules, let them run for the year and then ban it. I think from a reading, they use some exotic metal mixtures in the head that expanded more than the standard metals that we use. And I don't think that's mandated, the type
Nope,
of metal you use.
nope.
So I'm like, good on them if they come up with a new idea and got some more horsepower with using their heads, then they get the advantage. Why,
Yeah,
why penalize them back to everyone else when the other teams didn't think of it?
yep.
Yeah,
I
shits
agree.
me.
If you're smart enough to come up with a system that doesn't break the rules, I don't think you should be penalised. The people who should be looking at themselves as the FIA for making the rules uh,
Yeah.
so they can be interpreted in a different way. Yeah, I'm disappointed. We haven't heard the end of that. Um,
But it's part of the fun and games, right?
it
Like
is.
the FIA makes a bunch of rules, and the engineers sit down and go, right, how can we obey the rules but
Yep.
get the biggest performance advantages? And these cars are prototypes, right?
Yeah.
They're meant to be cutting edge, absolute bleeding edge of technology and what's achievable. And like, so they've obviously spent a bunch of money and time and research and engineering and whatever else to come up
Work
with
this
this
out.
metal this
Yep.
metal mixture to get the advantage,
Yep.
and then they don't even get any race wins or anything out of it. FIA goes, "Oh, that's not fair.
No.
It's illegal."
No.
Nah, like, do you want them on the bleeding edge, coming out with crazy technologies and workarounds through the rules, or do you want them to just be boring and just play to the rules? Like,
They've done it with F1, like the
what do
fan
you want?
cars, the six-wheel Tyrrells, everything that was
Yeah.
a progression forward, with all the ground force and everything. Yeah. Anyway, um, I did see a really interesting story today, and I thought it was an April Fool's joke that had come early. But Phillip Island has lost the Australian GP for MotoGP,
Yeah,
and it's going to an Adelaide street circuit. Now, I love Adelaide. I love the F1 track in Adelaide. It was so much better than Albert Park. However, bikes don't race on street circuits. There's painted lines, there's different surfaces, there's manhole covers. Unless we're looking at some sort of Adelaide TT, I can't see street circuits working. I'd love it, but I'd just say it's probably going to end up at the Bend.
yeah. Only batshit crazy Irishmen do road racing.
But, but
Even Valentino Rossi went to the Isle of Man TT,
yep,
and he wouldn't even do a lap.
no,
He said these guys are crazy. I'm not crazy enough.
no,
Um, yeah, it's interesting. I've got a mate who's been to Phillip Island quite a few times over the years, and yes, the track is absolutely brilliant for racing. The altitude changes, the weather permutations,
yep,
like all that is a massive challenge, and the racing is always interesting, and you're never really guaranteed for a person to win it.
yep,
Where it really fell down and has fallen down for a decade is everything else apart from the racing, grandstands, all the amenities for the supporters, parking, accommodation, transport back to Melbourne, like all that stuff has sucked, and
yep,
it's sucked for a long time.
yep,
And there's a lot of different articles saying, well, that's not why they lost it. It wasn't because of the amenities. It's because they wanted the organizing company wanted to get it closer to accommodation, make it more into like kind of an F1 type feel where you're in the city and everyone's pumped and there's all activities and bars are filled with people banging on about MotoGP and there's heaps of different conspiracy theories, I suppose. It's unfortunate from racing because there's a lot of tracks in the GP calendar that are just boring as crap,
mm.
and Phillip Island is not one of them.
No, it's not.
It, it is an interesting race every time it's there. There's
It's
always
really
something
brilliant
interesting.
track. Yeah. I think it will be really interesting. Riding our bikes, even where they put the little squiggles on the cracks on the road, like they're just danger zones. I can't imagine a
Yeah,
street race if they work it out and resurface a whole street track in Adelaide for the MotoGP. It'll be amazing if they pull it off. I can't see it. Even the speeds they want to, but it could be. Yeah, I don't know. Keen to see
but then
what happens.
the 51 weeks of the other 51 weeks of the year, you got cars and trucks piling on that road day in day out. It's hard enough to maintain a racing circuit with good service, let alone throwing 51 weeks of traffic on top of it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
And you've got a quick. We got a minute left. A really quick update on Union
Union. All right, well, real quick. The Reds sucked against the Waratahs.
kick.
They basically played us off the ground. Fiji and Drua got whipped by Moana Pacifica. Brumbies continued their run as the premier franchise by whipping the Force. New Zealand games were quite close and a lot more of an arm wrestle, so that was interesting. World Cup prices, eye bleeding as expected. F1 haven't read my subscription, so I don't have any news on that. And I've talked about veterans rugby already.
Done.
Done.
Lovely. See you in a fortnight, everyone, and I'll see Angus next week at the Beer Awards. Have a great weekend with your rugby team and stay basement quality, everyone. Cheers.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
See you Monday night for beers, Luke.